The Teaching Garden at the Springs Preserve is designed to teach math, science, and much more outside of the typical classroom setting. Here at the Springs Preserve, students will learn how to grow a garden by getting their hands dirty. Like planting the seed of a flower and watching it bloom, the Springs Preserve hopes children's curious minds will flourish when they attend outdoor school lessons in its new Teaching Garden. Now open at the Springs Preserve, the 13,000 square foot garden provides a hands-on educational journey for those who want to try their green thumb at gardening in the desert.
So we aim to offer the tools to allow people to grow successfully in the low desert setting. And even if people are expert gardeners elsewhere, it's a very unique set of tools that one needs to grow in the low desert. So we cover all the basics from soil, irrigation, when and what to plant, which is really different from other parts of the world, and also when to harvest. So armed with a basic toolbox, people can have the ability to go on their own and grow gardens successfully.
The Teaching Garden grew out of support from the Rogers Foundation, which provided a grant to the Springs Preserve to add the garden to its existing 8-acre display garden.
I think it was an obvious choice because the Springs Preserve does so much for education. We're Nevada-centric, and so is the Springs. It's about our history and where we came from, what we need to do to preserve our life here in the Mojave Desert. So, you know, those are fundamental things that kids in Southern Nevada need to know, and the Rogers Foundation was happy to be a part of this.
A labor of love, dedicated staff, and some community volunteers turned this empty plot of dirt into a place where students can literally get the dirt on all things gardening.
Well, first of all, it's to get hands-on experience where people really get their hands dirty, whether they're students or teachers or participants in the public in our classes, and also to raise that awareness that where our food comes from and that people can grow their own vegetables and fruits here in the desert.
The Springs Preserve developed 6 lessons for each grade level that are correlated to state and national standards of learning. The overall objective of the education program is to introduce each student to the concepts of basic gardening, teach about natural resources throughout history, explore food sources, and encourage a deeper understanding of sustainability in nature. Water conservation is also an important component. Each grade level's courses follow a standard set of themes.
Well, we're going to have everything from A to Z and everything in between, the whole spectrum. We'll have things like compost, learning how to take care of our soil and how to enrich our soil. We'll be talking about worms, we'll be talking about insects which are beneficial, harmful, how we can kind of watch that, how to plant seeds, when to plant them, planting just in general, and then how to collect seeds so we can use them in our next harvest.
The program includes 2 free field trips to the Springs Preserve Teaching Garden. Staff and master gardeners will teach the hands-on classes with focus on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. The garden also will be used for the Preserve's existing Youth Garden series for home-educated students. That program allows students to dig deeper into monthly topics that go beyond conventional gardening classes.
They're pretty much helping with the whole process of designing what we're going to plant, where, when, and collecting seeds. They've been working in the soil, harvesting, and they're also, several of them have become garden ambassadors, they're going that step beyond where they can actually give tours to different groups on what's happening out here.
The Clark County School District is a strong advocate for outdoor learning and has added school gardens to their campuses and curriculum, and for good reason. Studies show the benefits of teaching gardens are wide-ranging. They develop a connection between environmental stewardship and nature, teach children about nutrition and health, and engage students in a higher level of learning outside of a traditional indoor classroom. But not all schools have gardens, and not all children have access to the ones that exist. That's why the Springs Preserve is the ideal place for teachers to introduce their students to gardening. The Teaching Garden fits perfectly into the Springs Preserve's mission to build culture and community and inspire environmental stewardship.
Many people have never seen how food is grown, so it's really fun to introduce the public, adults and children alike, to see how food is grown and to interface with that growing system. I think it's very exciting for people to see, to be able to taste things and witness where their food comes from. And so we're working with the community to demonstrate, instruct, and learn from one another in the best practices for the low desert, and so we can get our hands dirty and grow together.
The garden's unique learning environment teaches much more than just how to grow food and the importance of water in the desert. It engages new generations in their own health, welfare, and confidence. Teachers can learn more about the curriculum and how to participate at springspreserve.org. Reporting for Waterways, I'm Jenna Nava.